Morning. How you doing? Hope you're all doing really well. Thanks for joining me in this slightly wet Dorothy on this morning walk and chat. I know in past videos I've mentioned the best way or the best techniques for improving the sweetness in your life on a moment by moment basis. And every time I think that that's the one you should try, you can evaluate the other ones. They turn out to be as useful. So, what methods are there that will improve the sweetness of your reality? Well, I think first of all, which is a tough one, I mentioned before, is acceptance. Where you are right now is a result of every reaction to every circumstance and every thought that you've allowed to develop and grow. And you are where you are because you only know what you know. Well, that acceptance is difficult because if things happen to you in your life that were unpleasant and cause you harm, how can you be responsible for them? Well, it's the way you choose to look at that event, because that event came into your life for a reason, and at the time the reason is often unclear, really is, and you can only know that by hindsight, which is the benefit of getting older. Is the fact that I can look back over my life at certain events and circumstances that at the time were traumatic, not helpful certainly, but when you can look back and go, well, that had to happen for this to happen, you start to allow yourself to see the circumstances that come into your life as lessons for your personal growth. And that shift in your perception will make an enormous change, just the way you view circumstances and events in your life. And along with that, along with acceptance, you need to start becoming conscious and acting consciously. What do I mean by that? I've heard that many times. You become conscious. Well, just take a moment to pause if you can before deciding on a reaction. Because often the reaction you'll make, if you make it hastily, will be from the ego self, the self that's designed to protect and keep you safe. But if you know you're safe and that you need to act from love when you react to events, you'll change how you react. And becoming conscious just means taking a moment to be still in your mind and think what you want. Do you want to react to an event in a competitive, out of fear, or do you want to react out of love? And when you react out of love and peace, the reaction will be different. So see, we're surrounded by people, and when we interact with them, they tell us in the conversations, we exchange stories. Just notice how many of them stories are of things that have gone wrong to that person, maybe that day, that week. And But you realise that those, more often not, episodes are very brief compared to all the good that goes right in your life on a daily basis. But that person chose to focus on that little tiny part that went wrong because they want your energy. They want you to give them empathy, sympathy, non-sympathy. That's a entirely different subject altogether. Needless to say that I'm not a very sympathetic sort of person, and that's not meaning in a horrible way. It's I don't believe that energy that you give when someone tells you how bad they're feeling. If you sympathise with them, you can you're taking on that negative energy, and well, you know it works that way. You have to be very careful. I see it all the time. Yeah, if my wife has a complaint about something, or even the dog had a poorly foot, and my wife was sympathetic to the point where she developed a pain in her foot. And we all know of these events, putting down coincidence, but it's really just that energy exchange, because that's all we are. So accept where you are right now is where you need to be, and it's a result of everything that you've had in your reality. And then be conscious of the thoughts you have. Yeah. You're cool. You really are. You've got to where you are. Yeah. You must be doing something right. But maybe you just want to sweeten that experience. And you can do that by changing your filter. Which is knowing that you accept where you are. And that just becoming conscious of your experience, and not bludgeoning through it just in a race to get somewhere, because it's a journey that's important, not the destination. And the journey is what makes up pretty much all of your experience. Destination, you'll never get there. Not really, because there'll just be another destination. So you've got to enjoy this journey and change what's in your daily experience. When you're on YouTube or whatever the social media you're scrolling, just be conscious. What actually are you watching? What are you feeding your mind? Because where you place your energy and attention, your mind will follow there, and ultimately bring that into your reality. So you've got to be careful. At the start anyway. After a while of doing it regularly, it becomes just natural. So I hope you're having a great day. I know I've rambled on for some time, and I tell you I wouldn't going forward, but it is what it is, I'm afraid. Yeah. Well, take care and have a great day. Bye bye now.